Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You might be surprised yet again, or maybe not surprised if you saw the first episode from last week in which your boy, the one and only Sauce, Mike Edwards, was hosting this episode of Outlandish Claims. And so we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I got the great piece PK band behind me. I got my hitters. Adam Fandango Poppy McPartland and James Trial and Tribulations out here. And we are here to talk expansion draft. So, gentlemen, I want to start by asking this question. What are your thoughts on how the Seattle Kraken did overall? Give them a grade. What did you like? What did you not like? Give it to me all. We are going to start with James.
Okay. That had to be probably one of the most dull expansion drafts of all time. Wow. They took the safest player, basically the least exciting player, took no risk for every single pick. And I think it might hurt them. Like, I would have, the Vegas Golden Knights, who probably have had the best expansion draft in sports history. I think that's inarguable. I don't think there's a team you can argue at a better one. I mean, they made the Stanley Cup in their first year. They made 7 trades before the draft even happened. The Kraken, 0. Just it's so bad. It's so bad. There were, I'd say, God, at least maybe 5 Hall of Famers available for them that they could have drafted, which I understand some are bad contracts. Okay, you don't want to take a chance on Tarasenko, whatever. But Price, the guy who we're now finding out is going to be ready for the start of the season? You got tricked because you listened to the team who didn't protect him? You thought the guy that carried them to the Stanley Cup, you thought they didn't want him? But, like, I guess it wasn't an awful draft. Like, you take a bunch of young defensemen, they're probably going to go trade or whatnot. But I don't know, man. You have a chance at, like, a 40-goal scorer in Vladimir Tarasenko and one of the best goalies of all time in Carey Price, and you don't take either? It's a little questionable.
Woo! That is some heat, and I think that we are going to just get right into it. I mean, Mr. Mayor, Fandango Poppy, what's going on? Hit us with it.
My entire expansion draft was modeled around the idea of they would take Mr. Tarasenko and Mr. Price.
Splashy.
I'm trying, and I'm not going to succeed in doing this, but my team that I fake drafted is better than Seattle's actually drafted team. What in the mother of God did you people do? Let's just run this down. Really quick. I gave you probably the best available defenseman from Boston in Connor Clifton. Instead, you take Jeremy Lauzon. Instead of spending $7-ish million on a 40-goal scorer, and still young, he's only in his 30s or late 20s maybe, Vladimir Tarasenko, you spend slightly less than that, just $6.8 million, in order to take on the contract for 1 year of a 38-year-old defenseman who has never played outside of Calgary. He has never played anywhere else. And you're going to ask him to adopt not just a new method of training, not just a new method of teamwork, but a new city, a new to the sport city, a new to figuring out what the hell you're doing all together team, because none of you have ever played together in your lives. And oh, by the way, let's look at how many veterans did they take? Let's see. There's Mark Giordano, Jonas Donskoy, if you really want to call him a veteran. You took 2 people who could possibly lead that team in the locker room. Yanni Gourde will lead that team on the ice. He should be the captain because of his energy and because of how damn good he is. And, let's face it, 2 Stanley Cups, 3 trips, because I think he was on the 2015 team. What are you doing? You could have... I gave you Pat Maroon, Vladimir Tarasenko, Matt Nieto, Alex Kerfoot, Vlad Nemestikov, JT Comfort, Calvin DeHaan, Cody Eakin, and CAREY fucking Price. And you take, who are these people? You take Cale Fleury, not bad, but still not Carey Price. Morgan Geeky, who? Tyler Pitlick? What do we got? What do we got here? Instead of Shane Gostisbehere, you take Carson Twerinski, Vince Dunn over Tarasenko, and then the word is you're trying to flip Vince Dunn. And instead of Alex Kerfoot, you take Jared McCann. The Maple Leafs are dumb little shits who left Alex Kerfoot unprotected, and then they said, hey, look over here, we're going to trade for Jared McCann and leave him unprotected. Maybe it'll work. It's a Hail Mary, but you know what? If it was a Hail Mary, then I guess the GM for the Toronto Maple Leafs is fucking Aaron Rodgers, because holy shit, he completed that Hail Mary. You, Seattle, are dumb. You were dumb when you hired Ron Francis. You were dumb when you designed the logo. Sorry, I don't like it. It looks too much like Seattle Mariners. And let's just be honest, then you were dumb when you expansion drafted this team. There's no ounce of smart that went into designing this team. I was excited when Vegas did their draft. And I was still somewhat neophyte to hockey. I was 3 years a fan at that point, and I didn't know what was going on. I loved that team immediately. This team makes me mad. It makes me mad. Because honestly, I really think, and I don't say this lightly, I think I would have done a better job doing this expansion draft than Ron motherfucking Francis.
I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm. One more thing. Only thing I disagree with is I like the logo. That's it. And also, I'm sorry, but taking Gavin Bayreuther over Max Domi, excuse me? I don't know. There's so many things. I just don't get how you don't take the chance on Domi. I don't get how you I've never heard of Bayreuther. I just looked him up. He's 27, and I don't think he's played an NHL game by what I've seen. So he's like
Our team is basically players who have played 20 games or less.
And they're like 26 and like 20. They're not even like that young. Like,
they're not.
They're weird.
Let me get in there and ask another question then. Obviously, Adam, you and I went through, based off of the picks that you made, the potential all-stars and the potential seeding for this team, the max potential. I want to go back to that. Do we see any potential all-stars from this team? And if so, do they lead this team to the playoffs? Where do we project the Seattle Kraken to finish, not only within their division, but in the Western Conference?
Okay, so there are players on this team that are good. Calle Yarncroke is a good pick. I like Colton Sissons better. He's 2 years younger with more upside, but Calle Yarncroke is a great pick. He's going to be an all-star. Yanni Gourde, definitely an all-star when he's on the front line of that team. He's absolutely going to be an all-star. And maybe Jonas Donskoy.
I think everyone you just listed, and I think Jordan Eberle has a shot because I think he's going to have a way bigger offensive role than he did on the Islanders. Islanders are a way defensive management 5-on-5 team. They're not going for Hail Mary goals. I could see the Kraken definitely giving him a lot more opportunities. And he doesn't have other shooters like Brock Nelson and people like that around him. So I think he's going to be getting way more shots.
You know what? That's actually, you know how sad that is that I didn't realize? That is absolutely true. Jordan Eberle and Yanni Gourde might be the two biggest shooters on that team.
Which, I loved Eberle as an Islanders fan. I loved him.
And I love Yanni Gourde as a Lightning fan. I love this guy back here. Look at him. He's right over my right shoulder. There he is.
Those two are not leading your team to any great success. I don't see them making the playoffs. I mean, they're in the West. West's a little weaker, but I don't see it.
I will tell you this. I saw them maybe making a play for the third seed in the West because it's just that bad. But Vancouver's making trades, man. Mm-hmm. They made trades.
Mm-hmm.
They were scary-ish.
They're bold.
Now they're scary.
Uh-huh.
Ekman Larson and Garland.
I love Ekman Larson and Garland. Yeah.
Imagine that top pairing. OEL plus Quinn Hughes.
OEL is something to play for again, too. I feel like he's going to be right back at what he used to be.
This is a team that's going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 all-stars because Hayden Fleury is a fantastic defenseman. That's it. If Mark Giordano has a great 38-year-old season, he's going to get traded.
Yeah.
Because they were already trying to shop him to the Rangers.
I love the Giordano pick, but only if you try to win. I don't know why you're taking him if you're not trying to win. He could be great for a team, or if you were going all in, oh, he's perfect. He could be the captain. But it's a
He's
bunch
probably
of
going to be the captain just by default.
yeah, it's a bunch of
Him or
honestly.
Gord, that's it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of middling forwards and defensemen with him. It's a shame for him too.
It is. I mean, the good players that were drafted, like Tanev is going to, as they said, hit everything that moves.
Yeah.
Tanev's the big body that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything aside from as they said also during the draft, nothing in Seattle is bigger than Jamie Alexiak except for the Space Needle.
Yeah.
And Yanni Gord is the energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
They've got, and I say this with nothing but respect and admiration because I love what the Islanders did, but they basically have the equivalent of the identity line and the two biggest hitting defensemen, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But if it's Clutterbuck, Martin, and third guy,
Casey Cizikas. Got to resign that man.
Clutterbuck, Cizikas, and Martin as your first line, you're not winning anything.
No.
You're not.
No.
You'll have a great few games. You might get 50 points.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go to the playoffs.
No, definitely.
You're getting swept out because this is not a team that's going to do anything. And I will happily eat my words. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words and I'll admit I was wrong. But right now, I like my drafted team better than I like theirs.
I agree. Also, Vegas set the blueprint.
They did.
It wasn't that long ago. The league is exactly the same as it was back then. There's not really anything that's changed culture-wise. There's not any big play style changes or anything. It's not 20 years later. God, they took Fleury. They had success. You take Price. I'm sorry. You take Price. He's your Fleury. He's your Fleury.
He's also younger than Fleury. He's 2 years younger than Fleury. What are you doing? Even if he has a knee injury, you put him on long-term IR, and the $10.5 million doesn't count against your salary cap the first season.
Look at what Tampa did.
Discussion.
There you go.
Take him.
All righty. Clearly there is a lot of emotion here, and we are going to see how the Seattle Kraken ultimately perform throughout the season. Don't get it wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We will be watching the Seattle Kraken. Okay, I will be watching the Seattle Kraken. These guys will be watching the Seattle Kraken. They're either going to be cracking necks or getting their necks cracked. So let's see. But that wraps it up. Thank you for being with us, and we will be back with another episode shortly.